All right, today we are diving headfirst into the terrifying world of May the Devil Take You To. Now, this isn't just any horror story. We're talking about an old curse that comes roaring back with a serious vengeance. You're going to see how a desperate plea for help just completely spirals out of control into this insane fight for survival against an evil that's, well, terrifyingly familiar. So, the movie just throws us right into the chaos, right? We hear this frantic warning from a woman named Gaddis to her sister Davy. Ayub is back. Simple enough, right? Well, here's the kicker. Ayub is supposed to be dead, and just moments after this chilling message, things get really, really bad for Davy. And when I say bad, I mean this is just horrific. This isn't just a simple murder. No, this is a statement. Her body is found twisted into this demonic symbol. It's the first brutal sign that some old, vengeful spirit is back in business. And believe me, this is just the opening act of a complete nightmare. So where did all this come from? It all goes back to an old curse. And to really get what's going on, you need to meet Alfie and her stepsister, Nara. See, these two, they've already been through the ringer. They survived a demonic encounter before and are still trying to pick up the pieces. They're hoping the worst is over. But, spoiler alert, it's about to come knocking on their door. Hard. And just like that, any peace they had is completely shattered. They get snatched right out of their home and dragged to this creepy abandoned orphanage. But here's the thing, their kidnappers, they don't want a ransom. They're desperate, they're terrified, and they think Alfie is the only person on Earth who can help them fight this supernatural evil that's come back to haunt them. Okay, so let's get our cast of characters straight. First, you've got Alfie and Nara, who are kind of becoming reluctant experts in all things demonic. Then there's this group of 7 orphans, and yeah, that includes Gaddis, the one whose sister we just saw meet a creative end. They all grew up in this orphanage, and they're all connected by a seriously dark and deadly secret. And that secret? It's a big one. It's a deal with the devil. To really understand the horror they're facing now, we've got to rewind. Let's go back 15 years and see what went down inside that orphanage. So here's the whole messed up backstory. Ayub was their caretaker. After his wife died, he just snapped, became this cruel, abusive monster who was dabbling in black magic in the basement. Classic. The kids, pushed way past their breaking point, banded together and, well, they burned him alive. But as he's dying, he screams that it's too late. A deal has already been made for their souls. And what was this deal? See, Ayub wasn't just doing black magic for kicks. He was trying to bring his dead wife back to life. And the price for that little miracle? You guessed it, the souls of the 7 orphans he was supposed to be caring for. So when they killed him, they didn't stop the deal. They just paused it. Now his spirit is back to collect on that debt. Okay, so the orphans are desperate. They think, hey, Alfie has dealt with this stuff before. She can save us. So they decide to fight fire with fire. They find Ayub's old black magic book and think, let's use his own spells against him. And you just know, this is going to be a terrible, terrible idea. So they go back down into the exact same basement where they killed him. Not creepy at all. They convince Alfie to do a ritual from the book because apparently her bloodline has some dark connection to all this. But instead of breaking the curse, her involvement is like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. They don't get rid of Ayub, they supercharge him. And the fallout is instantaneous. Ayub's spirit attacks, and it is brutal. Gina is killed horribly. Then, the spirit zips out of the basement and possesses another one of them, Christy, turning her into this monster. Alfie is forced to kill her own friend to save Nara. Just like that, they went from 6 survivors down to 4, in a matter of minutes. Naturally, after all that carnage, their first thought is get out. But when Booty runs to the car, nothing. It won't start. He pops the hood, and yep, the wires have been cut clean through. This wasn't bad luck. Someone made sure they were trapped. And that's when the most horrifying thought hits them. The enemy isn't just outside. The enemy is in the room with them. So now, everything's different. The trust is gone. Paranoia is just thick in the air. Who did it? Who's helping this thing? While everyone is pointing fingers, Alfie's mind is racing. She's remembering this little, odd detail from earlier. Something that didn't make sense then, but is starting to make a whole lot of terrifying sense now. And the clue? It's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, in an old photograph. You look at it and you see all these kids, their faces just full of fear, of trauma. But then you see Gaudius, and she's sitting right next to their abuser, Ayub. She's holding his hand, and she's smiling. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The truth is just right there. And that's it. Alfie puts it all together. Gaius was never just another victim. She was in love with him, with their tormentor. She's the one who did the ritual to bring him back. She's been helping him this entire time. The traitor was Gaius. So the secret's out. And Gaius? She just drops the whole victim act. She admits to everything. She set up the whole kidnapping, dragged Alfie into this mess, all because she knew Alfie's demonic connection was the key to making Ayub's return permanent. And now, it's time for the final showdown. The fight that breaks out is just pure chaos. Marth gets stabbed by Gardus, a fatal wound. But with her last breath, she pushes the black magic book to Alfie and tells her to find a different kind of spell. Not a spell to banish evil, but a spell to get the power to fight it herself. So Alfie, desperate, finds the spell. She uses her blood again, chants the words, and this time, it works. But not like before. She's filled with this incredible power, gaining these crazy telekinetic abilities. Now she's armed, she's dangerous, and she goes head-to-head with Gaius in one last, brutal fight, and she kills her. She ends it. So that's it, right? They won. The traitor is dead. But no. Just when you think they can finally take a breath, the real horror show begins. From Goddess's dead body, Ayub's spirit emerges, and it flies straight into Alfie. Instant possession. And inside her own head, Alfie isn't dealing with Ayub anymore. She's face to face with the devil himself. And he drops the final, most horrifying bomb of all. Her entire fight, everything she just went through, meant nothing. Years and years ago, her own father traded her soul for wealth. The deal was done. Her soul was never even hers to begin with. So yes, the survivors, Alfie, Nara, and Booty, they do get out of the orphanage. They escape. But you can't call this a victory, because the Alfie who walks out isn't really Alfie anymore. The ultimate evil they were fighting just found itself a brand new, very powerful, permanent home. And that's where the story leaves us, on this absolutely chilling cliffhanger. Sure, they survived the orphanage, but did they just unleash something so much worse out into the world? It leaves you with this final terrifying question. Did they really escape? Or did they just walk out of one hell and straight into another?